you all are. And once again, I am Zyori715. Joining me tonight is Janitor. This is the Hypercrew Showmatch number 7, Destiny vs. SiN, as most of you know, all tied up 1-1, and it is a best of 7 series. So here we go, switching into the game now, and we are ready to get started. Cross-map spawning positions on Lost Temple, and Destiny changed his color again. I just changed it to red so that it would match, and he goes back to purple. So now we're in a good spot, and SiN is not... What is going on with all of these colors? There we go. Now the colors are right. Cross-map spawning positions, and I think Destiny will be having a sigh of relief once he scouts all of these expansions and realizes he's got this whole map apart from him and his opponent. Lost Temple, once again, that Terran-favored map. Very common to see players choosing this particular map because of this beautiful ledge right here. Everyone knows about the Ledge of Doom, as we call it. Doing a tank drop, Thor drop, anything like that early on can be very difficult to defend, especially against Zerg players. So we'll see if SiN decides to utilize that, but you know, I'm thinking we may actually see a 1-Rax fast expand from our Terran player here, Janitor. What are you feeling?
Yeah, you may be right about that. We have seen SiN do that double Rax pressure, which is a lot more common now in the TVZ matchup. Either way, Destiny going to be very, very relieved, as you said, to see that those close spawning positions. And SiN, if he actually thinks about the fact that Destiny's been sending that early drone, he might actually realize that he's in those cross-map spawning positions, or at least not in those close spawning positions. Either way, it doesn't look like he's going to throw down a refinery, so he might just, oh, there it goes down, a refinery, tricking me a little bit there. So we might actually see a 1-Rax fast expand from SiN here. That would definitely be interesting. We see Destiny going for a 14 pool along with a gas, and then he's probably going to go for that expansion really, really quickly. But we're going to see some early Zerglings out for Destiny. And in the meantime, doing that gas deal, really nice job there by Destiny.
Yeah, exactly right. There's that gas steal going down. So now SiN is not going to be able to get that second gas, and that early gas, the first gas very fast is what I'm trying to get at, is oftentimes indicative of what that player is going to do. And just thinking in my head, SiN may have been looking for some of that Banshee harass. And we've seen early Banshees destroy Zergs early on. It can be so devastating if you catch a Zerg off guard as far as not enough queens, not enough anti-air early on. Here we see Destiny with this extractor, and he cancels it once again at the very last second, so he's going to continue this gas steal and will be able to cancel it once again if that is of his choosing. We see Destiny trying something a bit different here, though. He is not doing that fast expand, which is probably what you would expect in this particular situation. We see that Roach Warren coming down, so Destiny is going to put on some early pressure, may possibly even be gearing up for a 7 Roach rush. I think the timings are on par for that, although I'm not a Zerg player and I don't actually know the intricacies of that build as well as I should, but I think we're definitely going to see some of that wonderful early pressure here from our Zerg player.
Yeah, we almost certainly are going to see that speed is going down there, and wow, an interesting choice by Destiny to go ahead and cancel that Roach Warren. That will throw SiN off of his game quite a bit, actually. That's very interesting. Destiny playing those mind games, and I love it. That's why it's fun to cast these best of 7s, because you can play those mind games instead of just a best of 1 or best of 3, where you have to put your best foot forward every time. Destiny showing us a little trickery here. And one thing to point out there, SiN very, very close to picking off that Overlord that's hanging out right by his base, and that would have put a kink in Destiny's plans for sure.
Yeah, and now we see Destiny going for that pretty quick expansion. Once again, looking at the SiN cam here, as you pointed out, that should throw SiN off his game at least a little bit. Obviously sees where that Roach Warren was and doesn't know that there's an expansion, so this should definitely throw him off at least a little bit. We do see Destiny getting that Lair Tech nice and early once again, just about completed, so he is on the route for a fast tech. We do see SiN pretty much with a 1-1-1 opener, obviously going for that fast expand as well. That command center is just about finished, and we see this starport just about finished as well, so I'm curious to see what SiN is going to start pumping out as far as unit comp is concerned. We do see 1 Hellion out and a Medivac, so it looks like we may see an early drop with this Hellion.
Yeah, and I think that might be why Destiny got that early lair. We do see that Spire going down now, and might be assuming that some kind of drop is coming. We saw that Tech Lab add-on to the factory. Probably going to see a siege tank as soon as he has enough there. He'd like to produce that siege tank and maybe deny that expansion the best he can. Instead, looks like he's just going to make me look like an idiot, lift off that factory and switch it off with the starport. Going to go ahead and get that Raven. Nope, Banshee. All right, I thought he might not want to get. Thought he might not want to get destroyed by those burrowed banelings again. But either way, SiN showing us some interesting play. Gonna go ahead and push out with this Marine Hellion push along with that medevac. This could be very, very dangerous as Destiny only has Zerglings right now.
Yeah, Destiny definitely going for that faster tech route. This medevac doing quite a bit of healing. He's going to drop that. Oh, that Hellion almost gets dropped. A nice pickup from SiN there, keeping it alive with minimal health left. Now Destiny in a very rough position. Obviously moving these workers around as best he can. This Hellion still in a great position to do a lot of damage. And he does finish it off with workers. A great pick from Destiny there, but he is going to lose this hatchery, it looks like, unfortunately. We do see Destiny with that Spire completed, so he will be able to get some mutas out here as soon as he gets enough minerals. Unfortunately, he has a lot of his workers down at that natural, and it's really hindering his income at the moment. 500 to about 1,100 right now, and it looks like he may lose this expansion. Now we see Destiny moving in with all these workers, sandwiching these Marines. Obviously, our Terran player unable to kite. He does pick them up, which is a very nice play in that situation, but Destiny is in a very rough spot here, and there's that Banshee from SiN. As we pointed out, so destructive early on. SiN with very, very limited, or Destiny with very limited anti-air, excuse me. He does have that one Queen out and one Mutalisk on the way. He's going to do everything he can to take this Banshee out, but those Marines will be able to do quite a bit of damage to this Muta once it pops out. We see Destiny pulling off all those workers. That Muta is out, needs to take out this Banshee. Unfortunately, that Queen does go down. That's really going to hurt that larva supply there, but it looks like Destiny may actually be able to hold this one off.
Yeah, Destiny just a little bit behind now. He's got 21 drones to 33 workers, and I don't really like the choice here by SiN. SiN hasn't quite transferred his workers as well as I would have liked. I would like to see that natural go ahead and get populated right now, but looks like SiN may actually be able to take out this base from Destiny. You see that Mutalisk trying to take it out. He really needs to cloak up, and there it is, cloaking up and going to be able to destroy that hatchery. That's going to be a huge blow to Destiny's economy.
Yeah, that is huge right there. Wow, that just really cripples Destiny more so than he was already crippled. Now forced to be on one base, still without a Queen. That Queen is just queued up right now, so Destiny very starved for larva, starved for minerals, and it is going to take his economy a little while to recover. So that attack from SiN was so strong and very well timed for the strategy Destiny actually chose to go for. I see in chat, had Destiny chosen to do that 4 or 7 Roach Rush, it really would have worked well for him in this situation. He could have done a lot of damage and possibly won this game straight up with a very well-timed 7 Roach Rush. And now Destiny's kind of in a rough spot. He is going to drop this hatchery once again at his natural, so he is going to get that second base up. Definitely a smart play there. Really the only choice he has in this situation. He does have 2 mutas out, and he's going to try to harass a little bit. It looks like, oh, maybe not. He needs to be very careful with these mutas, though. You really, with this few units, every unit counts, and you need to be very, very careful. You see a cloaked Banshee in SiN's base, or in Destiny's base, excuse me, once again. And unfortunately, he does not have an Overseer in here. He has no detection, and he is losing workers. This one Banshee is up to 10 kills, picking off harvesters left and right, continuing to cripple Destiny's economy, and this is so rough. This Banshee still has a nice little bit of energy left and plenty of time to continue killing these workers. Destiny unable to really micro these workers, and there it is, morphing in an Overseer, and finally goes down to these mutas. But still, another pretty sizable blow to his economy. We see Destiny dropping that Baneling nest, and probably a smart choice. He will be able to do a sizable amount of damage with those Banelings if he gets a good bust. Obviously, Banelings are a game changer. You can kill quite a few units with a well-placed Baneling explosion. So we'll see what happens here and see if Destiny will be able to bring this game back. If he can, definitely a pretty recognizable comeback.
For sure, it looks like Destiny is going to move in here, try and do some of that harassment. SiN is actually going to be caught a little bit off guard here, has no stem and no combat shield for any of his Marines. The Thors are out, though, and are going to be able to deal with this pretty nicely. I don't even see an engineering bay down, so no turrets can go down right now for SiN. It looks like Destiny just going to pick off whatever he can, maybe move around the base, try and take out those outlying supply depots.
Yeah, and pretty much what you want to do at this stage in the game, try to keep SiN base locked as possible, try to make him play as defensive as possible, and prevent him from putting pressure on you, because obviously Destiny's economy is struggling. Another Banshee headed to his base, a smart play from SiN to continue and try to keep the pressure on, and continue to gain this valuable scouting information. However, now Destiny has plenty of mutas here. He's going to have to get another Overseer, and losing those drones left and right. This Banshee has so much energy saved up and can stay cloaked for quite some time, but it looks like he's just going to get away, and he does uncloak. He's going to leave that Banshee and attack with him another day. Probably the smart choice from SiN, obviously realizing that Overseer is on the way, and we'll be able to find that Banshee. Taking a look at Destiny's base, so he does have that lair completed, obviously does have the Spire out, so he has a couple of options here once that economy recovers a little bit more. He's up to 36 Harvesters now, so he's actually in an okay spot. He's going to have to get another Queen here down at his natural expansion to continue that larva production, as he does actually have some minerals in the bank. Meanwhile, in SiN's base here, we do see that stim coming down, as Janitor pointed out. Looks like SiN might have gotten a little bit cocky early on in this game. Pretty late stim here. That engineering bay just coming down, so just now able to make those turrets and just starting to work on his vehicle weapon upgrade. So an interesting choice from SiN there. We do see this Banshee trying to do some more harassment, cloaking just in time. But Destiny with great map control and doing everything he can with his limited number of mutas to try and pick these Banshees off.
We do have a lot of burrowed banelings right now for Destiny. However, SiN does have that Raven, so he's going to be able to spot this very, very early. And here it comes. Destiny seeing that Raven, just going to unburrow and move out here. And this is going to be a scary push coming up for Destiny to deal with. I'm not sure how well he can deal with this. SiN has quite a few units right now.
Yeah, completely agreed. 167 supply to 66. This is definitely going to be rough. We see 4 more mutas coming out. If Destiny can get some perfect Baneling explosions, and I mean perfect, he may be able to hold this off, but this could definitely be rough, as you pointed out. And here we see Destiny moving in. Those Blue Flame Hellions ready to do some damage. Those mutas coming in the back, and here come the Banelings rolling in. A nice Baneling bust for that first wave, but there are still quite a few Marines left, and I don't think Destiny has any more Banelings. He is morphing in a few more, but this could be very rough, losing a lot of mutas here. These Steam Marines just doing so much damage. SiN over-stimming a little bit there, but Destiny calling the GG and going for scrap station. So SiN up in this series 2-1. Now it is a best of 7. Keep that in mind as these matches continue. Still anyone's series for the taking. But, another pretty good match. Destiny, interesting that he started with that 7 Roach Rush strategy that would have been so strong, and then played the mind game and switched it up, and it ended up working against him in the end.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the worries that you have to deal with when you choose to try and switch with someone like that. You're going to be behind in your normal strategy. You're not going to be where you would normally be in game. So Destiny rolling the dice there and not quite coming up the way you'd like.
Yeah, that's definitely exactly right. You just need to be. I don't know the right word. I don't have a great piece of advice. You just need to be careful, and SiN just had such a well-timed attack for that particular strategy. Caught Destiny completely off guard. Obviously went for that fast muta tech, and it just worked so well. It worked so well for SiN, is what I meant to say. Had he waited another 2 minutes, Destiny would have had a lot more mutas on the board, and he would have been able to do a lot more damage, a lot